In just hours from now, voting will be starting for the midterm elections. The Democrats and Republicans are in their final stretch of the campaigning. These polls will decide who will be running the Congress. The U.S. Congress has two chambers. The first, the U.S. House of Representatives. It has 435 seats in total, and all of them are up for grabs. The second chamber is the Senate, where out of the 100 seats, only about one-third are being contested. The results will be setting the tone for the next 2 years of Joe Biden's term. And if it concludes with a strong Republican showing, it could upend many domestic and foreign policy plans. The midterms are also important for the state-level elections. This time, the governor's mansions are also up for grabs in 36 states. State-level lawmakers, Secretary of State, Attorney Generals will also be decided. Let's talk about the key issues now. Issues related to the economy have become a top priority for the voters. In most states, the views are divided along partisan lines. Since the 2021 Capitol riots, democracy and election authenticity have come under question. The Democrats have been constantly touting this midterm as a way to save democracy. Abortion rights continue to resonate strongly for the Democrats, while Republicans are more focused on current jobs and immigration. And then there are more common issues that flare up every election season, like education, climate, public safety, gun control. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are not running in this election, but you will see them in most visuals coming in from the United States. They are rooting for their party candidates, but the focus has been more on the 2024 presidential election rather than the midterm elections.
Today we face an inflection point, one of those moments that comes around every 3 or 4 generations. We know in our bones that our democracy is at risk, and we know that this is your moment to defend it, preserve it, protect it, choose it. Democracy is on the ballot. Political violence and intimidation are on the rise all across America. And you remember January 6th, the angry mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol, attacked law enforcement, hunted down elected officials, erected gallows to hang Vice President Pence. Well, West's opponent supported that mob.
Donald Trump has also revealed that he will be making a very big announcement on the 15th of November. Remember, he is expected to throw his hat into the ring for the 2024 race to the White House. These midterms could be a make or break moment for Donald Trump's future.
But not to detract from tomorrow's very important, even critical election. I'm going to be making a very big announcement on Tuesday, November 15th at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida.
The midterms take place 2 years after a presidential election, so they are seen as a referendum on the performance of the current president. However, it's also a litmus test for the opposition. The Republicans are monitoring their own base and also how many could change their vote to red in the next presidential election. The past trends have shown that fewer voters typically cast ballots in the midterms. And we earlier spoke to Elizabeth Laris, who is a political analyst and an author from Washington, D.C.
The voters have been paying keen attention to this election. These midterm elections, as you know, are a referendum on the party that occupies the White House. Some midterm elections are more lackluster than others. This one has fired people up across the political spectrum. You know, a lot of people are very upset about the economy, about inflation, about crime in American cities. On the other side of the political spectrum, they're concerned about the Dobbs decision that the Supreme Court decided in June of this year. And so everyone has something that is compelling them to come out and vote. And it's very, very competitive. Just this week, it seemed as if the Republicans were pulling ahead and have a very good chance of picking up quite a number of seats in the House, getting a majority in the House of Representatives. And then now it does look like the Republicans will pick up a seat or two in the Senate and then regaining control or majority of the Senate. That seems to be rather late breaking. And so it's been very competitive up until this point. As you know, President Biden's approval ratings are quite low. So that has been a real drag on the Democratic candidates. And let me tell you, each side is coming out fighting because each side thinks that they can do the best they can this year.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.